everybody. We are live. We're just waiting for you know what. Boom. We're waiting for that bass to drop. All right. That's my theme music. You know, Deion Sanders has theme music.
Well, then you have to
I have to have theme music too. Why
didn't I?
So welcome to my guest, Cathi Marcus. If I was near my little machine here, you'd have a big howling round of applause, but that's not where I am today.
I like collaborating with you on anything, Jeremy. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. Cathi Marcus from Cathi Marcus Coaching.com. She is a professional coach, and she's a proud member of Coaching Done Better. She's on the platform, and everyone knows that it's a new platform for coaches to be seen, heard, and to help people like no other place. And so Cathi was one of those what I call early adapters.
Yes. And once I heard about it, I jumped in. And
I appreciate it. So what we're doing over the next few weeks is we're bringing on anybody who's on the platform. We're going to be showcasing them. And today is Cathy's day. So welcome.
Thank you so much.
And the title, everyone kind of saw that. I can hit that again. It is, let's see, it's going to turn the music back on probably. But, oh, there we go. It is Unlocking Your Potential, Coaching for Authentic and Fulfilling Lives. So tell us about, what does that mean to you?
Well, I have to tell you a little bit about me in order to tell you about why I'm so passionate about coaching people for their fulfillment and authenticity, which is that, you know, for a long time, I lived in the conformity. I lived in the conformity.
It sounds like a Pink Floyd song.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. I think Pink Floyd's song would be like enjoyable. This was not enjoyable. Well, at times, maybe it was enjoyable, but I was mired in the conformity, which led to me being mired in multiple life-threatening addictions.
Wow. And what age about was that?
You know, I mean, you know, going back to high school, I was actually a top performer. Looking at me on paper, people would have been like, this girl's got it going on. I was, you know, academically doing great in my school. I was popular. There was nothing on the outside that would lead people to believe that there was anything wrong. But on the inside, I was a pressure cooker.
So you were ahead of the times because that's basically social media now.
Yeah.
You know, out to the world, everything's fine, but you don't know what's going on in people's lives.
Absolutely. The mask.
Yeah.
And the fitting in and people wanting to fit
in.
The pressure to fit in and comply.
Does any of that come from the household, like the mom and dad?
You know, my parents are both very high achievers. So the achievement part of it for sure. But then I didn't see a lot of healthy communication in my home. So there was a lot of repressing of emotions and a lot of concern with what other people think.
Okay.
So I think the combination of that was like the perfect
Where was
storm.
that? It was in New York?
No, Miami Beach. I grew up on Miami Beach.
I thought I recognized that accent. The nothing accent.
the Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
But my parents come from New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you got what was the transition? What was the tipping point? What was I mean, if you're okay with talking about it,
I'll talk about it.
Was it an event? Was it just time?
Transitioning, you mean out of the conformity into the authenticity?
Yes.
Okay.
Was that a long thing or?
Well, you know, actually what I would say is first I had to treat my addictions, which happened to me when I became 31. I actually got into recovery to treat my addictions and was first becoming connected with more of my authentic self. Who am I? What do I care about? What do I need? And kind of becoming more familiar with the conformity. But it wasn't until about 6 years ago, after being a 6-figure producer in corporate America and having all the success and the achievement, and again, that checklist life, that I realized I don't really feel fulfilled.
So you're going through all this stuff. And by the way, I got to acknowledge Aaron Avila. This guy is, he's one of our biggest fans. He's on LinkedIn. He's on YouTube. He's all over the place. He's got Stroke TV. He had a stroke, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago, I think maybe. And he is such a spark plug. He's in a wheelchair. He's out in Seattle, but he has his own podcast, his own show. But Aaron, talk about supporting.
Hi, Aaron.
Thank you for your support. He's a C-suite network guy. He's a guy that I'm with in Jeffrey Hazlett C-Suite Network. But he's always first on, always the first to saying Wahoo and all that stuff. So thanks, buddy, for your support. But back to Cathi. And I just want to give a shout out. Yeah, we are across YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So we're across about 7 different platforms. That's the website, CathiMarcusCoaching.com. And it's about aligning everything together. Now, I keep forgetting to hit that one because that one's cooler than just coming back. So
I love watching everything you can do. I love it.
So you're in corporate America.
Yes.
And you're like, this is just a hamster wheel. There's really no reward at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel is just a train.
I mean, in the beginning, again, I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. I had a great career in pharmaceuticals and I learned so much and I met so many people. And for a long time, it was really, really good until it just turned on me. At some point, it's just, I guess I evolved and I was ready to move on to something different. I didn't know that. And I just then started to feel like this is a hamster wheel and I'm not fulfilled. And I also was like ashamed of that. What's wrong with me? I have the checklist life. I have like what everybody would want to have and I'm complaining about it. So there was that there
guilt
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So then how do you get kind of finding out that what you're coaching on is the way?
Yes.
Like, how does that evolve?
So again, it's just my own journey. I am the people that I coach. The people that end up coming to me and coaching with me, either they're dealing with addictions or family members dealing with addictions, or they're in corporate America and they're not quite feeling fulfilled, or they're actually trying to build their dream life and figure out their life purpose. There's so many different things, but it's the journey that I went through that ends up being what resonates with my audience.
And that's the whole thing, is if you have impact. And so a lot of people are trying to go through this world, getting involved in programs, creating all this stuff that sounds impressive and that lands nowhere.
That's right. That's right. That's the authenticity piece.
Yeah.
Because you can't transmit what you really aren't.
Yes.
So there's a lot of people who like the show and the impressiveness of the show, but there's not really the substance to go with the show.
That's why I have a lot of bells and whistles, because I'm really lacking on the substance. So I lean on the tech.
You are not lacking in any substance.
A little self-deprivating is okay, a little bit. So it's called, what is it that what's the result when people work with you?
Yes.
What is the result?
Okay, so there's a lot of different results, but I think primarily the result is that people start to be able to differentiate between the conditioning of their lives and their authentic self. So what they've been taught is the right way to be or show up or go after or do or become, versus heart-centered living, authentic living based on joy and energy and purpose and fulfillment and your true strengths and gifts, what you have to share, your unique love that you have to share with the world, and living it.
Right. Is it ever too late?
Oh my goodness. What I will tell you is that most people don't start to awaken to the fact that they've been in conformity until probably midlife.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely it's never too late.
There's a lot of good stuff here on your website. I mean, of course, I know what you do. I know how you help people. But, when you have a resource like you have, and now we're kind of bringing that over to Coaching Done Better.
Yes.
When that app comes out in about 30 days or so, this is the caliber of people who are on here. It's not just business coaching. It's mind, body, and business. And definitely you fall in between that mind and body.
Well, business too. I mean, I work with deans of colleges that want to be better leaders, and they're not authentically leading.
You can't lead. You can't. I mean, leading a business, it takes a lot of energy, and you have to be healthy, because you're not going to treat people the way that you need to treat people really good these days for a lot of reasons.
Well, it's even more than that. What I'm talking about is if you're not really right with yourself, if you don't really trust yourself and love yourself and believe in yourself, it's not going to be possible that you can really lead in the way that you want to lead. It's an energy of security that radiates out from a person who's done the kind of exploring and the work that happens in my coaching practice.
Yes. So what's I see that one of your tabs is the process.
Yes.
So when somebody works with you, what does that look like?
Yes. So there's a coaching process that takes about 12 sessions. And through that process, what I do is I help people become aware of the events in their lives that shaped their beliefs that hold them hostage. So
there's really a lot of inflection.
Absolutely.
A little bit of tracing back. So I imagine they have to be ready for you.
Absolutely. Nobody's going to end up being in my zone if they're not really sick and tired of, feeling like an imposter or not having what they really want. You can't resonate with what you really want until you get connected to your true self.
So they feel safe. Then you obviously must create a safe area, because most of this stuff is going to be pretty traumatic, and maybe they have never voiced it outside of their body.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Safe space is the number one thing. And again, the reason I can create such a safe space for the people I work with is because I've been through the stuff that they've been through. And I talk about it with them. I'm transparent first, which lends itself to them feeling safe to open up.
Yeah, I've always been, you still have to have most of my trauma comes from when I was much younger. And then as a young adult, when we had a couple of suicides happen, then it was, another round of wounds that had to heal.
Yes.
And so you're never going to be healthy your whole life. There's always trauma that comes up. But once you learn how to attack it sooner, right? Like, okay, it hurts. And right now I'm not ready to talk about it. But instead of letting that affect you for years, like you do when you're younger, maybe it's now months.
I love what you're sharing, because a big part of my practice, Jeremy, is that we don't go into the past and massage it like that could happen in therapy. We're not doing any of that. We're just looking for something that happened and what it created in terms of a belief that's preventing you. But what you're talking about right now, the feeling part of it is a big part of what I help people with, which is recognizing there are no negative feelings. There are just feelings, and how to relax and breathe.
You kind of make them negative. You're the one doing that. It's a feeling. It is.
It's a feeling. And if you accept
this is a water bottle, and it could be a weapon.
Right.
Or it can nourish me.
That's right.
I'm doing it. And so those feelings, life happens. What I'm experiencing now as a guy in his 50s is the mistakes that your children are making, and then you have no control. And so those are now completely different feelings that I'm having.
Right. The powerlessness is what you're talking about, which is what I do coach into a lot. Is powerlessness and insecurity is another.
Gotta get one of those for that one.
Well, and insecurity is the other word I'll throw out there, because everybody's running from their insecurity instead of knowing how to embrace it. When you embrace it, you integrate it, and you become more powerful, authentically powerful. So my practice is not about pretending to be anything. It's about embracing what's really there. Authenticity is authentic. Emotions are authentic.
Yes. And then fulfillment. So the part of that coin is fulfillment. And I know that there's been a couple of articles written, and maybe it's not 100,000 anymore. Maybe it's 200,000, because of the way the economy is and what money does for you. People who are making the $3, $4, $5 million a year aren't as happy as people who are making between, used to be 75 and 120. I bet it's 150 and 200 now. Where then the other end of that scale is you're making 50 and you're miserable because you're working and not getting anything to show for it, and so you're tired, and it's not fulfilling at all. Then the other side is 3 million, and everyone's enjoying your money but you, because you're on that wheel. Right, like the lawyer working 90, 100 hours.
You're in the system, and you can't get out of the system.
But those people who are like, probably now it's probably right around 120 to 180-ish. It's like 50 hours.
Yes.
A couple of weekends are off. Get a couple of weeks vacation.
Yes.
People can run the business if you're sick, and so you're not, everything's not so dependent on you. Now you can enjoy life.
I mean, again, I have experience going from in the system, corporate executive, making well over $250 a year, to leaving and zero goose eggs. Starting a business on my own, slowly making, growing over time. But it was the best experience I could have ever had,
Yeah.
because it's an experience where I learned to trust in the unfolding of events in my life, that I'm not in control of everything, that there's something greater that's at play. And how do I align myself with that?
Yeah.
And at the same time, figure out, what am I meant to express in this world?
Yeah, exactly. And that's always going to change.
Yes.
And I think it's a product also, I call it the proximity power. What are you close to? What are you ingesting? What are you watching? Who are you hanging out with? That's going to affect your energy and also your potential, you know.
So a lot of the coaching too that I like to talk about has to do with, how can you be secure within you,
Mm-hmm.
so that no matter what the outside world is doing, whether they're praising
Mm-hmm.
you or whether they're coming to tear you down, you're rock solid in what you
Yeah.
do. It doesn't deter you from continuing to move on your path, because with consistency and commitment and repetition with what you're really good at, you're going to hit it.
Sure. Yeah, no, but I meant more, if you're consistently around that ugly stuff, it's going to be much harder.
Well, there's two ways of looking at it. I used to think about it that way.
I love to hear the other
Yes.
side of that coin, because that's the
Yes.
common.
Yes. What I would say is that I just use everything on the outside of me as an opportunity for me to accept and feel whatever it generates, so that it doesn't knock me off my path.
That's interesting. So you can acknowledge it, but not give it power.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I've learned how to eat that stress, is a better way to say it, rather than try to avoid it.
Because sometimes you need to be in the suck because they need you.
That's
they need
right.
that positive.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah.
Absolutely. You just landed right there.
So you can push that button right that says lightning.
Lightning.
So that's
See, I mean, you just totally landed. That's exactly right. Because can you imagine if everybody was running away
pulling up the ladder
from all that chaos?
Bye.
How are we going to turn this world around?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Yeah.
Aaron is on fire today. So let's see what he says here. He says, how much time from start of business to equal your corporate salary? So in your case, and maybe not back to 250, but back to where you were really, okay, this is going to work and I'm paying my bills.
Well, I wish I could answer that question. What I could say, though, is that I'm so passionate about what I do. I'm so good at what I do. I love what I do every day. It's priceless, that if I died tomorrow, I'm not concerned with how much I'm going to make. It's more about, is this day amazing? And that energy, that abundant energy, is going to draw so much to me consistently. So I'm just not worried about it at all. I'm not even focused on it.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Thank you for asking, Aaron. And like I said, I told you, I gauge this not by the little numbers over there, but by the comments over here. So when we get a lot of these comments, and you're doing a great job. You're doing a good job. So how can people? We're not going anywhere yet, but how can they get a hold of you? We got the website.
Oh,
but what is your email address?
Yes, my email address is cathymarcuscoaching@gmail.com. The Cathi is spelled Cathi, so that's the tricky part. But people can also reach me. My phone number is on the website. I'm on Instagram under Cathi Marcus Coaching. I produce a reel a day, pretty much, if anybody wants to follow and just get a little tip or insight on anything that relates to the content we're talking about today. And I'm also on Facebook under Cathi Marcus Coaching, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn's the other one.
You got to be everywhere, because you never know where your audience is.
Right. Right.
Cathy's also a member of the Florida Speakers Association. She is a professional speaker where she goes out and shares. And you just recently had a talk to some youngsters, right?
Yes. Oh, so I'm a published author also. I have a book called Addiction Land: The Raw Details of My Spiritual Awakening from Every Freaking Addiction Under the Sun. So again, talking about transparency and authenticity and sharing my dark truths with others in the hopes of taking down the shame other people feel, so that they can get the right help and turn their lives around. So yes, I was asked to go to my old high school, Jeremy. It was freaking amazing. Fun. My old best friend from high school said, would you come for mental health awareness and speak? There's the book. There's the book. And I've got 25 years of recovery. So this is not somebody who just got into recovery, has a year of recovery, and wrote a book, which is a lot of the books. This is somebody who has 25 years in recovery.
Yep.
And still is very committed to that way of life, to helping people turn their life around. But what was so cool is I got up in front of the kids, and Jeremy actually helped me with my speech. He really, I think he just made it so perfect, because in the beginning I opened up and pretended to talk about somebody else. And all the addictions, and she was the prom queen, and she was voted most successful, most likely to succeed.
Yes.
And then she ends up this Medusa of addictions, and the kids were like, what? And then I revealed.
The reveal.
The
That's
reveal.
what we worked on.
It's me, the reveal. So it was
Love it.
fantastic, Jeremy. The impact of them realizing somebody could have such a false.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a false exterior. A lot of those things were really me, but they just didn't know that I was suffering inside from such insecurities.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like when you say, what does a monster look like? What does a criminal look like? Everyone has in their mind's eye what that looks like.
Right.
And when you're on stage talking about somebody with these problems,
Right.
they're imagining something that is
right.
not you. But they're
Yes.
seeing, and then when you do that reveal at that age, and that's a good age.
And then that was the hope.
Yeah.
You know, if she could get up here and she looks like this, and she, you know, but she was that same person. Like, wow, it's really possible.
Because they're all feeling, and trust me, middle schoolers are 31. How you were 31, that's how they are in middle school now.
Oh,
between the hormones and the exposure to everything that is today.
And with the fentanyl, I mean, so scary. So I get a lot of parents that reach out to me to coach with their kids.
Yeah.
But, you know, it depends on whether somebody's ready to be coached, like you said, and open up.
Yeah, we're getting some good stuff here now. Bob Frere's chiming in. Need to be mindful of paying themselves first. Entrepreneurs, that's a big problem. Knowing the break-even point so we can pay our bills, essential to continue to do it. So, yeah, it's like putting on your mask first.
I have no problem paying myself when I need to pay myself. And what I'll tell you guys is, you know, again, I was blessed with being in the corporate arena, making a lot of money for a lot of years. And I was smart. I paid myself first.
Yeah.
I always put 15% into the market.
So we have Christy and I do these shows also. And we ask how to transition into being an entrepreneur. And the first thing I always say is you got to have a nest egg.
So that's how I did it. That's how I'm doing it.
Before what Bob's saying is happening.
Yes. But the money alone is not going to give you what you need to stay the course of your dream. If you don't have that trust in life and in yourself, you're going to jump right out. You're going to jump ship before you have a chance to realize your dream.
Yeah. And you've got to, the other thing is too, is when you start hiring people, you're going to start seeing other people's energies and dealing with their problems. And if you're a person who's gone through somebody like with you and learned how to deal with their own problems, it makes it a lot easier to spot why somebody's maybe not doing a good job.
Oh, I have so much compassion, Jeremy. And I think, again, that's the draw, is I don't have the judgment. That was me. How am I judging?
Yeah.
You know, I get it.
They got to want to help themselves, and you're going to offer a life.
Well, and in the process I take people through, we were talking about that coaching process, people come to understand why they're acting out, why they hate themselves, why they're so insecure.
Do they even realize that they hate themselves?
They don't even realize a lot of times. It's a very enlightening process of like, oh my gosh, I've been feeling this way and thinking this way and running into this same situation over and over again, and I didn't understand why. And then I shift them into connecting with their potential and their strength and their talents and their power.
How many times do they end up doing something totally different in their lives?
It's so cool. I can't believe you even said that. I mean, I had somebody recently who was like a bookkeeper. Yes, bookkeeper. And now she's like in a business with crystals and, you know.
Yeah. Oops, wrong one. But I want to, to kind of pull everyone back to your website. If you want to work with Cathi, or if you think that there's a chance that she could help you, give her a call, send her an email, jump on her website, send her a message. She has a platform on Coaching Done Better. We're going to load up some good resources, so you'll see some things that she's doing. There'll be some links to the book on that. So we don't have the live yet, but eventually, once in a while, she'll be on there live, sharing some expertise on there. I'll make sure of that. I'm a good goater. Come on. let's go live. And that's kind of the whole basis of this platform is for people to see you without looking under every rock. It's a place that we can drive people to, because there might be people that need sales training and they're going to
Right.
go to a business coaching platform. When they're exposed to people like you, this is what we need more of on this platform, are the mind and body coaches who are helping people be more well-rounded to go out there and do what Bob and Aaron's talking about.
But what's interesting when you say that is I've got the business background too.
Oh, sure you do.
And the business savvy. So
Yeah.
what's been interesting is people, and I have a CEO. He's at multiple corporations, but he's gay. And when he was young, he was bullied terribly, and he's still living with that low self-esteem as this major corporate CEO. So, I help people navigate at all levels because
Yeah.
people are people. And, you can't look at the outsides and know what's going on the insides, but also to strategize around things that happen. This dean of the college needed literally strategy. We strategized, we brainstormed together. So I can
they
brainstorm.
go more than the 12 weeks. You get them in the right state of mind, and then you're also available to help with other.
They don't even have to do the 12 weeks. I want to say that too. That's something that I make available, but I like for people, just come coach with me once and see what I can do for you. And then you can see if the process is right for you. That's
the beauty. That's the beautiful thing. So what's next? What's around the corner what's your next?
Listen, what's great about me is that I am living an inspired and authentic life. And that's what I really give to other people. I don't know what's next. I don't care what's next. I'm excited. I live a life of adventure today, which is what I always wanted.
An adventure driving from Delray.
Adventure.
Pompano Beach.
I would love to speak. I would love to share. I'm a storyteller. I'm authentic. I'd love to speak more. So I'm going to be working with you in a class that you have coming up.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thanks for the drop. We are 1 week away next Tuesday. So today's Thursday? In less than a week. There's 2 spots left for $1,000. I guarantee you $10,000 worth of value. Probably a lot more than that. In fact, Bob Frere, one of the people on here, will be at our week 7. There's only a 6-week class, but week 7 we're in here filming the speakers, and Bob will be the sage advisor in here watching the speakers. And then after we tape them, Bob is going to gift an hour to each of the speakers to review their tape, like the golfer in their backswing.
Wow.
So we've got a lot of different, I'll tell you, you know what, since you did that, let me tell you, I got to mention it, because these people are doing this for free. Right? These are world-class speakers who are coming into this thing and spending
just to have
an hour.
Exposure to be with these people, and even if it's not exactly about a talk, you can learn
it's about
so much
presentation skills,
right,
and all of these things that we're going to be doing. So let me just tell you some of these people. In fact, I just have to go off my mind because I can't find it here. But Scott Lesnick is here week 1, and then we're going to talk about crafting our problem and articulating what problem we solve. And again, not in this order, I forget, but Annie Meehan will be here. And she's coming all the way down to be in person from West Florida, right, from the West Coast. Jan Spence is going to be here one of the weeks. She'll be on Zoom. This one is the biggest one, too. And I'm sorry for everyone, not to put anyone over anyone else, but the one I landed yesterday, my white whale, is Lois Kramer is going to be helping us. If you guys just look up these people, Lois Kramer, LOISCREAMER. She's going to be one of the sage advisors. And then Bob Frere is going to be with us. I mean, he's worked with the who's who of all Fortune 500 companies in America for over 30 years helping with sales. And he knows a thing or two about presentation skills. So I know I'm probably leaving someone off because we have 6 lined up for the 7 weeks. I have 1 more week to fulfill for systems and processing. It's for referrals. So we're going to teach people how to find event planners who are hiring them, figure out how much to charge, look at contracts. We're talking about the systems and processes to put in place to continue getting paid to speak, and how to get referrals. So it's like a pump just feeding you business. It's going to be great. So thanks for bringing that up.
Welcome.
Yeah. So hit me up because I got 2 spots left if you're interested. And you'll have also a year free on coachingdonebetter.com. You got lifetime free because, again, one of the first few people that were in before January 1st got lifetime subscriptions.
I know. I feel the energy when it's a right thing. I just move forward.
Yeah. So, and so we've got some great coaches that signed up and they're all in. And then now we're signing more people up. So if you sign up for this thing, you get 1 year for free on the platform. And so it's a lot of stuff. So thanks for letting me plug that, because it's really important to have really top quality people on there and people are willing to invest themselves. But I promise you, $10,000 back in value for
Wow.
your $1,000. And Aaron thinks he knows me, but I ain't that guy anymore. He knows that's how I used to be, but I'm focused now. And I think it's because, again, being like around Bob, being around people like Aaron, being around people like you,
Yes.
who are, look at every day I go live. These people are commenting, you're supporting, you're liking, you're sharing, sending me text messages, love the show today. And we all do that with each other. So this perpetuates our success.
Yes. I hope it's of great value
Yeah.
to the people that are listening today.
And this, we're going to be like the Pied Piper too. In about a month or two, this goes away from all these platforms. So we're going to do a little bit, maybe 15 minutes, and it goes over to the platform. So people are going to join up and see the real show over there. And that's the draw of this thing.
He's amazing. That's all I can say. This guy is amazing. He can do so much with the electronics. You should see this studio. Also, he has a great studio here. I'm going to plug it. So if anybody needs to do anything in a studio, talk to Jeremy.
If you're in Pompano Beach, come on by. We'll roll some video.
Yeah.
So we're going to land the plane, as they say. The website is CathyMarcusCoaching.com. The book is called Addiction Land. It's on Amazon. That's where I pulled this up. So definitely very easy to find. The raw details of my awesome spiritual awakening from like every freaking edition under the sun. So I love that. I love you for being on here again, for being so supportive, and anything that I can do, I'm in your corner.
Yeah, I'm in your corner.
All right.
Too. And we're in your corner.
And look who it is, my mother, the last commenter, my mother. Hey, Ma.
Oh, how cool is that? How handsome he is. I love
That's
it.
my mom. Between her and my Aunt Kathy, I got two. I can let that get to my head.
I'm a mom too. I get it.
So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. What is today? Thursday. So we're back Monday.